Now, this is when Mickey's leaving. And I guess, I don't know if Clark got in the truck with him and went with him, or if he went and picked Clark up from somewhere else. I don't know. But they end up together and they go deliver food. Now, here they come back. And I just wanted to say, I had found out that when Kane Kitchen gives those deliveries or those donations like that, they're not planned. So it's not something that they do on a regular schedule, like it's not something that they do 5 days a week, or it's not something that they do just on Fridays or the first Friday of every month. That's not the way it goes. They said, what I was told was, they never really know when they're going to be getting those deliveries or those donations. And whenever they do get them, it's kind of like first come, first serve. And so I don't know if they were doing that, or somebody else told me that Mickey was regularly delivered senior citizens meals. So I don't know if he was delivering those meals. I don't know. There's a question there. I'm not really sure what he was delivering. But he only had two of whatever it was instead of, a whole bunch of them. And he went off with Michael Clark, the preacher man. And from what the Mickey's attorney, Jeremy Bartley, said in an interview, was that Mickey got real nervous and kind of scared, paraphrasing, if I remember correctly, that Mickey thought somebody was trying to lure him out into a more isolated area than what they were used to. And he felt like somebody was trying to do something to him. Now, I kind of can understand that feeling of paranoia and fear, like just since my show has started and well, not started, but I guess within the last probably 6 months, since we've really been diving deep into a lot of this stuff, like people are always asking me if I'm afraid. And yeah, like I can feel that fear. I can feel that. Just kind of watching over your shoulder, always trying to be aware of your surroundings, making sure that nobody's going to run up and get behind you and do something to you. I reckon last week there was a fella that was carrying a machete and went up to the American Legion and attacked some guy out there in the parking lot with a machete. And they flew him out to the hospital and they were able to save his arm. But I was told it was kind of like a sneak attack. The guy didn't even see it coming. And that's scary. That's very, very scary. So whenever I go out and I take my dog out, I'm watching behind me. I'm always looking to see if somebody's trying to run up on me in the dark. So that kind of, I can kind of feel or empathize to some extent how he may have felt, knowing so much that other people might do anything to keep quiet, and I'm kind of looking into a lot, going down these rabbit holes. Okay. So, like, we went down the rabbit hole of the deputy who's on his fifth wife. We found a whole lot of irregularities. We found a whole lot of conflicts in that, like all through his wife's criminal background and just with the courts, the history with the court and who all is involved. throughout that whole lifetime history with the court, it really shows you how young these girls were whenever they got in the system to begin with. And the same men were over their court stuff, you know? So if they take your kids, how are you supposed to get them back? How are you supposed to get them back? If they're using your children over your head for anything and everything, you know, these people had nowhere to turn. They had absolutely nowhere to turn. And really, the only option they had was to play the game and survive. That's it. That's the only option they had. Because even the ones that tried to come forward, nobody was listening. The Attorney General was not listening. He still ain't. Our governor, Andy Beshear, wasn't listening, and he still ain't. You know why? Because they helped create this. And so now, if they come out and say, holy hell, you know, shit, we got to shut this down, they're too scared about their next campaigns. If it comes out, say Andy Beshear wants to run for president, which we think he does. He's building up. If it comes out that all this organized crime ring in down the entire eastern side of our state was doing this kind of stuff, and they just let them snowball them into supporting it and helping them get it put in place and all this stuff, there's no way. No way. He will go down in history as the governor who allowed all this to happen. But if he was to do the right thing and turn around and say, I don't give a shit how much money you put in my campaign. Here, we're going to give it all back to you fools. If any of you guys were doing what is being alleged, we're going to put you all under the prison, under the jail, under the courthouse. And he would absolutely have a straight shot all the way to the presidency, because he would be the one that actually listened to the victims and the people, the voters who put him in there. These people here did not put him in there, no matter how much they want to think they control all these elections. They do. They do. To an extent. To an extent. But when you get something like this going on, holy cow, man. We're taught like it's just okay. So well, let's finish watching this. I got quite a bit to show y'all, but we need to watch this. It's almost over. I can't wait to get that lip reader. See what she says. Whenever they first came back from that delivery, it looked to me like whenever Michael and Mickey walked in the door, it looked like Michael gestured with his notebook. It looked to me like they weren't having a very nice conversation. Okay.